Hello, everyone, loyal listeners of Nancy's Nuggets. Today we have Nancy's Nuggets and an exclusive interview for you. Hi, Nancy. How are you today?
I'm just great. How are you, dear?
Nancy, our loyal listeners are very eager to find out more information about, well, what makes you tick. So we're going to have a few questions for you today, and if you could just answer as honestly as possible so that our listeners and viewers can have an opportunity to get to know you better. So, Nancy, why don't you tell us, before we get started with a small interview, your nugget of the day?
My nugget of the day is just to be with a friend. A friend who doesn't criticize you or tell you that your lipstick is on crooked or that your eyeshadow is running. It's just a friend who loves you for who you are. That's all. Friend.
Okay, well, thanks for that nugget, Nancy. I'm sure everybody was very eager to find that out. They feel much better after knowing that a friend is an important friend that doesn't place crooked lipstick on your face, or something to that effect, as you stated. Can you give us a little information about, where you were born originally, and a little bit about how you grew up, and then we can ask some more, involved questions about who this woman Nancy is behind the mask.
Well, where I was born in a hospital with bright lights shining all around. And when I was born, I actually heard music playing. And I started to hum. And they said they never heard a humming baby before. And so I got a job as a TV reporter.
As a baby, you got a job as a TV reporter.
Well, I was only reporting little things that happened in the OB.
Okay. And what do you currently do today, Nancy?
Currently, I am trying so hard to develop a product for your lips that make your lips look so luscious and beautiful that you'll never want to eat. And it is the best diet secret that we have kept for years. Because if you brush your teeth, put your lipstick on, and smile, you won't want to eat.
And how does Nancy's Nuggets come about? Like, how did this whole thing get started?
Well, I guess it was my love for people. I just love people so much. Big ones, small ones, round ones, tall ones, short ones, any ones. Just love people. And they love me back. That's the most amazing thing of it all.
So, did you get a lot of your friends and family asking you for advice, and you just to start a Nugget channel? How did this come about?
Yeah, I guess that was it because at a wedding that we were recently, they put the microphone right in my face and said, "What's the best advice you have for this new wed couple?" And I said, "Well, you just gotta hug him in the morning, love him at night, take him to the zoo on Sundays, and make him a cake on Monday." And they liked it.
Okay, I have some questions here from some of our listeners, and one of the questions I have is, what is your favorite color and why?
My favorite color happens to be blue because when you say blue, blue, it's you know that half the world is blue, and blue people are perfect.
That's
And
very profound.
perfectly blue. But if you're another color, you too can be perfect if you try just a little harder.
Excellent. I have another question coming in right now as we speak, and they're curious about what shade of lipstick you're currently wearing today.
Today I'm wearing a vintage plum, which opens your eyes, makes them sparkle. And it's really true. You don't even want a snack. You don't want to eat because you like looking at yourself in the mirror.
I have another listener that is considering opening their own advice channel on YouTube, and I was curious if you had any nuggets for them or any advice for them to get started on this endeavor.
Okay. My advice to them would be just to be natural and to surround yourself with friends who really care about you. And they don't care what you say because whatever you say is wise.
Oh, excellent. I have a question now coming in from Andrea of Utah, and she is asking me, She has mentioned that when you make expressions on your face and give different nuggets, that your forehead doesn't seem to move. It's expressionless. She wanted to know if you currently are using Botox or is it something else?
It really is something else. It's just all the amazing love that people give to me every day. It makes me smile, so I don't need to frown or wrinkle my face, and that's how I stay young and beautiful with my new lipstick. I also have a new lipstick called Vintage Wine, and it is so delectably delicious.
Okay, and Sam from Houston is writing in right now. He's sending us an IM and he's asking, where did you obtain all this knowledge from?
Well, I like to read, I like to write, and I like to think. And I think thinking is the best part of all my nuggets. So if you can think of something to give advice to some housewife or friend or worker or anyone, even your pet, I think the advice that you give them, if you give it to them with love, it really says a lot for you, and you'll always be their friend.
Jane from Sacramento writes in, I've damaged a book while walking to school. I dropped it in a puddle of water and the outer cover is really not in good condition any longer. Do you have any tips or advice on how I could maintain or keep that cover looking nice in front of all my other students?
Well, I think the best way to keep it nice is to take up a collection and buy a new one. Because you want to look the part. You want people to know that you care about things and perfect them and keep them nice. And if they're wet and soggy, no one could read them. So do yourself a favor. Buy not only one, but buy a couple, because you can give them away. And remember, friends love friends.
John from Wilmington, Delaware has just written in and he has a parakeet and his parakeet has flown away out the window. He didn't realize that the window was open and all of a sudden the parakeet went bye-bye. Any suggestions on what he can do to cope with this unending loss in his heart for his parakeet?
Okay, to cope with this unending loss in your heart, I think it's really important to know that your parakeet is free at last. Thank God, free at last. And in the words of a famous author and writer, yes, I think your bird would be very happy, and if you leave the window open.
Do you want to do it right? You want to make a real video?
If the window is open, you will find your parakeet coming back to its haven in your home.
And we only have time for one more question, and this is Anita from Minnesota, and she writes in, she's having trouble backing up her car into the garage and has understood that you are an expert driver. How in the world can you help her in driving backwards in her car?
Hi, Anita. This is Nancy again. Well, my best advice for driving backwards into your garage with your car is to let someone else do it. So therefore, your car doesn't get skinned or marked up. And pick a bus driver, because they can get those great big yellow buses into a tiny space. And so they won't have any trouble backing your car up. But if you really feel that you want to learn how to do it, first you need to know your left from your right. And if you know your left from your right, then you're on the right track. And then just trying to kind of put it in the middle of those two spaces, your left and right. And therefore, you will be an A1 perfect driver. You probably will be able to give driving lessons and parking, or maybe a bus driver. So good luck to you, Anita. Bye for now.
And that's all we have for Nancy's Nuggets. Nancy, any parting words?
Keep your chin or chins up, and just love your friends, and just be as validating as you can be, because no one likes to feel that they're a loser.